people don't remember it, political parties don't remember it, and our establishment, the military establishment, does not remember it either, or they remember it all too well, and they keep on deliberately using this tactic, this religion card, as we call it, right? And we know that when Salman Taseer was assassinated for supporting Asia Bibi, this poor Christian farmer worker, that is when the Barelvis organized on this issue of blasphemy in a very dangerous way. There were multiple groups which started at that time or got strengthened. And the TLP is one such group which came out of the Tehreek Labbaik Ya Rasulallah, TLYR. And since 2017 and the agitation they did around this issue, the one that Yasser was talking about, as a result of that basically agitation, they were also rewarded by, they were allowed to register as a political party because they are used to disrupt vote in specific constituencies. And since then, they have taken on this sort of the whole campaign against the minorities or around the blasphemy issue, and all kind of incitement and organizing on the ground. We've seen that because they have agitated so much and carried out so many hate campaigns in Sindh and in Punjab against individuals, some known, some unknown, around the issue of blasphemy. They were also connected to the Jaranwala case into 2023 and many other cases against the Christians and Ahmadiyya and other people. And they are also linked to targeting and attacks on graveyards of Ahmadis, on their worship sites. So there is like a whole list. There is a lot of evidence. HRCP has spoken about that as well. So, but the political parties, at that time, PTI, joined hands with TLP and the establishment in 2017, and the PMLN was at the receiving end. But then the PMLN has used religion, very dangerous religion card, repeatedly as well against their opponents. And one would think that these parties would learn anything, or the establishment, but they don't want to. And that's what's so horrific about all of this. And, now that what I also want to, Yasir, ask you about is, like, you've mentioned that only someone like Qazi Faiz Isa would have done it. We've seen that he's also, rejected the Punjab government and Punjab police's report, so-called in progress report, on the Jarawala attacks, the attacks on dozens of Christian churches in Jarawala area near Faisalabad in August 2023. And he has also heard cases where he has granted bail to very poor Christian young men. Over the last 2 years, Supreme Court, Mansoor Ali Shah gave that brilliant judgment on the Ahmadis' right to, I mean, essentially it was about, it allowed them to, practice their faith within their, the privacy of their properties or homes. And that judgment has been, not been implemented upon. And then we have the Tasadduq Jalani judgment from 2014, and which, HRCP and other civil society have been seeking its implementation for the longest time since then. So Supreme Court is that one sort of, when it comes to these cases, there's just Supreme Court, we say. The High Court is okay. Sometimes High Courts have given good judgments and have resolved cases in a amiable manner, but Sessions Court, I don't even want to talk about. But Supreme Court is that, like, last resort for people when they're seeking justice in such unjust situations. And what kind of precedent does it set, in your opinion, when the CJP is targeted like this for other
I think
justices?
I think it's the chilling effect, isn't it? I mean, we talk about chilling effect on the media, but here we see, this. I mean, this could potentially have a chilling effect on judiciary. But I must go back. I think the comment that I made about Qazi Faiz Isa, I mean, there are certain reasons he feels very strongly about the country. His father was, so close to Jinnah, and that sort of thing. He believes in that essential promise. I think all of that kind of plays in. I mean, here the ideology itself is a very strong motivator for him. So I think he's going to stick to his guns. I think he's not going to back down. So while
Hmm.
there is that chilling effect, and a lesser person, or a person with, who's not made of sterner stuff, would probably back down and, probably say I made a mistake or whatever. But I don't expect that of Qazi Faiz Isa. I mean, he would not be the man that he is if he did. But yeah, in terms of precedent, I think there are, I think there are some very enlightened judges in sort of the Supreme Court right now, and these judges are very clear about certain things. I mean, they understand the will of the people and all of that, but they also understand that the will of the people, or the idea of democracy, should not change into the tyranny of permanent majority.
Hmm.
I mean, these people understand on a very ideological level that just doesn't work, only work cross purposes to the constitutional jurisprudence that exists. And there is very little of it, but still it does exist. But when we talk about, it works cross purposes to the very idea of Pakistan, if you think about it, because Pakistan was supposed to be this idea that, that the a permanent minority should not be dominated by a permanent majority. And that is precisely what is happening with this particular minority in Pakistan. I think that's where the ideological, sort of intersection comes in. A lot of these judges do believe in that essential promise of Pakistan, and especially Qazi Faiz Issa. So while there is a chilling effect, I believe the judges have it in them. Some of these judges have it in them to weather the storm, as it were.